What's up, team? Today we are going to graph some lines when given an equation in slope-intercept form. So bam, there's our title, graphing lines from slope-intercept form, and here is our learning target. It says I can graph a line that's given to me in an equation in slope-intercept form. So we previously discussed these equations in slope-intercept form. We know how to find the slope, we know how to find the intercept. The slope is the number that's attached to the x, the y-intercept is the number that is all by itself. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to graph a line when you're given an equation in slope-intercept form. It's 3 steps, not so bad, but we're going to do this piece by piece. The first one says, step number 1, plot the y-intercept, and then maybe a friendly reminder here, begin with the b value. We know that these equations come in the form of y equals mx plus b. B is the constant all by itself at the end, so begin with the b value. So here we go. Here's a very perfect graph, and here's the equation that we are going to graph here. If we're going to begin with the b value, that of course is this number that's all by itself, 5 in this case. So we're going to plot that. That means we just start in the middle and we go straight up 5 units. This is going to be at the point 0, 5, because the y-intercept is where the line crosses the axis, meaning that the x value is 0. It hasn't moved left or right at all from the origin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. Here we go. I'm going to label it 0, 5. That's step 1, complete. Let's move on to step 2. Step 2 says use rise over run from the y-intercept to plot at least one more point. Okay, so that means we need to figure out what our slope is. Fortunately, we have this wonderful equation in slope-intercept form, and our slope is the number that's attached to the x. In this case, it's negative 2 over 3. So we're going to use our rise over run with this fraction here. We're going to rise a negative 2, which means go down 2 units, and we're going to run a positive 3 units. So starting at our y-intercept, we'll rise negative 2, 1, 2, and we're going to run positive 3. That means we're going to move to the right 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and so right here is our next point. And this happens to fall at 3, 3. We could move on to step 3 at this point. I'm going to go ahead and plot one more point just for funsies here. We're going to follow the same exact slope, negative 2 over 3. So starting at 3, 3, we're going to go down 2 units, 1, 2, and we're going to run 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. This happens to fall at the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma, 1. Okay. We now have 3 points. Only 2 were required for a straight line, but we have 3. That's overkill, but I can live with that. Step number 3, probably the most fun one, but potentially the most frustrating if you're a perfectionist. Fortunately for myself, I am not. But connect the dots with a straight line. So we're just going to draw a line through these points here. Do your best to make it as straight as possible, and continue it in both directions, because the line doesn't stop with just these 3 points. It goes on forever in both directions, and we'll indicate that with an arrow at both ends. So it might be easier just to start with a small line like this, keep it going in that direction, but then, of course, pick it back up and carefully go the other direction as well. So that looks like a fairly straight line. And this is the line that is described with the equation that we're given. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. Okay, 3 easy steps. Make sure that these are captured in your notes, these steps here. I'm going to go ahead and do one more example, but I think one more is going to do it for us. All right, here we go. We have the equation y equals 1/3 x minus 2. We know that our slope is 1/3 because that's the number attached to the x. We know that our y-intercept is negative 2 because that's the number all by itself. Don't forget that negative. It's hugely important. It will game changer if you accidentally miss that. Okay, follow our step-by-steps over here. Step 1, plot the y-intercept, begin with the b value. Our b value is negative 2, so I'm going to start at my origin. I'm going to go down exactly 2 units, and this is at the point 0, negative 2. All right, step 2, use rise over run from the y-intercept to plot at least one more point. This time, our slope is 1 over 3, or 1/3. So we're going to rise 1, and we're going to run 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And again, for funsies, I'm going to plot a second point, rise 1, run 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So this is at the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma 0, and this is at the point 1, 2, 3, negative 1. So I have 3 points here. Again, I only need 2, but it doesn't hurt to have extra. And here we go. Step 3, connect the dots with a straight line. Here's going this direction. Boom, going in the other direction. All right, we've graphed 2 lines when given an equation in slope-intercept form. Make sure to write these steps down. Make sure to reference them. You get to use them on quizzes. You get to have them for assignments. There's easy step-by-step for graphing these lines. All right, give it a shot. You got this. Let me know if you have some questions.